Hello and welcome back to the Impending Doom podcast episode 2. And before we begin, I have a couple of announcements to make.
And you've got to the end of your line.
That is the end of my script, alright? Well, this is a good episode.
A couple of announcements is so official. It's like being on the train.
It's like
being able to find out that we should look out for suspicious packages.
I always like the ones where it's like, if you see anything that doesn't make sense, be sure to report it, or something that doesn't look right. Something that doesn't look right.
Yeah, I know.
But before we go off on a tangent...
That bloke looks a bit weird.
Before we go off on a hey, that's mean, you shouldn't talk about me like that. Before we go off on a tangent about trains, let's get into the actual announcements. I'm doing the National Citizenship Service, which sounds posh. It means I'm going camping for a few weeks.
Camping? I thought it was like doing weird shit with music and stuff like that.
Nope, first week's camping. First week's camping in the wild. Second week's camping at a university, so it's just a residential. Third and fourth week is like social work, so it's like raising money for charity and raising awareness for charities and that kind of thing. So it's not musical stuff. That was because for the examples of raising money for charity and stuff, they were like, oh, you could do music shit. And I was like... You can busk.
Oh, I get it. It's like people playing like lutes to raise money. That's what it is.
Yeah, for 2 weeks you just sit in the middle of town just playing your lute.
Well, don't ask me. I didn't sign up for it. I don't want to sit in town and play the lute for 2 weeks.
I mean, maybe I'll have to learn the lute. Anyway, point is... Uploads might not be possible during this time. I will ensure that there is something being uploaded, but because I have the weekends off.
I'm just here the whole time, so we could do podcasts on the weekends potentially.
We are going to try that. Although on Saturday I'm busy, but on Sunday we have a free day, so we're going to try and record then. But if we can't, then I'll be putting something out. Although it might not be. It might be a podcast, might not be a podcast. We'll burn that bridge when we get to it. Furthermore...
That's your favourite phrase. It's because it applies so well to your life.
Thanks. By the time I'm back, that means I'll have lots of free time and we can actually improve on stuff. And speaking of when I'm back, something that I was actually wanted to tell you about, I actually signed up to a website called BehindTheVoiceActors.com, as recommended to me by some random lady on the internet who voices a bunch of Final Fantasy characters.
That's cool.
I know, it is cool. But she did a video and it's like, how to get into voice acting as a career. And she doesn't sound like that. She's very high-pitched, but I can't...
If she did sound like that, I would have to assume she wouldn't be a voice actor.
Thanks. But yeah, it's good. It's interesting because you sign up to it and then anyone can either put up like casting calls, so saying, oh, I want a teenage boy to voice this character, or anyone can be like, I'm a teenage boy and I would like to voice this character. I'm just using that as an example because I'm a teenage boy. So it's good for getting experience and volunteering work, and you do need volunteering work because you won't get into the industry at all otherwise. But the good thing about it, yes, let's say the good thing. It's got upsides and downsides. You'll understand in a second.
I'm sure I will.
All levels of professionalism, anyone in the world can put up a casting call on the website, right? So, you get actual professional, like voiceover, like podcasts or radio shows looking for people to voice certain characters. But then you also get, like, 13-year-olds who's made a Lego Ninjago stop motion and need voices for Cole. So...
I mean, I don't see that as a bad thing. It's just giving you a range of options.
Yeah, I know, but that
means that if you have a good quality, then the professionals would be thinking that you're at an adequate level, and the kids who want the narration for their Ninjago Legos, they're going to be blown away.
I know, and I am willing...
I said Legos, really weird.
Legos? Hello.
I didn't know what I was saying.
Oh no, I stepped on one Legos brick.
Legolas
brick. Or is it just like an elf? You know he's not actually blonde, the guy who plays Legolas.
I didn't know that.
Actually, he might be blonde. I don't know. Anyway, point is...
I mean, I wasn't massively concerned with it. I wasn't watching it and thinking, I wonder if he's naturally blonde.
How does he
If only I could get locks like that.
But, so, The thing is of course everyone wants to start voice acting. Like, oh, I want to be in a game. Or
Everyone wants to start voice acting.
I'm making a generalised statement here. Everyone who wants to start voice acting wants
There
to
you go.
be doing something professionally. But when it comes down to it, sometimes you gotta take a few Lego Ninjago's roles to get the good ones, you know?
Yeah, keep telling
You
yourself
have to
that.
work your way up. You know, originally...
I'm a professional. I work for kids doing Lego Ninjago. Imagine if we now went onto there and it literally was just loads of kids doing Ninjagos. That would be like, I'd be like, I thought you were using an example, man.
No, I scrolled through it. It's like a lot of Lego Ninjago, a lot of like a lot of people's fan fiction they want narrated, but not weird fan fiction. Like, oh, what if these two people fought? Fan fiction that they want narrated.
Oh, so fan fiction, not slash fiction.
Yeah.
Alright, that's alright. That would
yeah.
be quite fun to narrate.
And
It'd be
just-
like being Stephen Fry doing a Harry Potter book.
Yeah, and a lot of fan projects. So, for example, someone's made like an animation for, I don't know, like Pokemon, and they want people to voice certain characters. That's like, so you got to work yourself up. You got to start a Lego Ninjago, then you move on to, let's say, like fan fiction, who would win in a fight, then Pokemon fan projects, and then maybe you start to get some of the original projects, like someone, I don't know, one example I saw was someone making a game in RPG Maker and they wanted like a couple voice lines.
Yeah, no, I was, when I did games in RPG Maker, I thought about getting a narration for someone online.
Yeah, I mean, you can get it all for free on behindthevoiceactors.com. I would like to say we're sponsored, but we're not, because if I was sponsored, that means they'd recognise me as a voice actor.
We're obviously not sponsored. We don't get enough views to be sponsored by anyone. Who the hell would sponsor us? Looking around the room for brands.
Brands.
Your keyboard, that's got a brand.
Oh, it does. Novatech.
Your screen is an Acer.
Tesco milk chocolate digestives.
I bought them on the way
We're
here.
doing a taste test. Actually, I probably won't do this because some people are like, oh, I don't like the sound of chewing.
Are we going to turn it
Well,
into like
I've got one that
ASMR
I'll break
digestive
one in half.
biscuits?
I'll break one in half.
You're really having
There you
trouble
go,
breaking that in
take it
half.
Shut up. I don't want to get chocolate on my fingers.
He's shaking like.
I want chocolate with my hands.
No, they're kind of melting because it's quite hot.
It was 27 degrees yesterday.
And it's like 27 today, right? Or maybe, I don't know, there's wind so it feels colder.
One time I was at a rowing competition because I do rowing, you know. And
God, he's so big and strong and active.
struggling to break a biscuit. But yeah, there we go. I did a rowing competition and it was extremely sunny. But at the same time, we're all wearing like mesh vests and also
I don't know why I found that so funny.
ouch, okay. We're all wearing mesh vests because that's what we have to wear for the uniform. It's not like a choice.
I'm sure.
And also it was extremely windy. This was at Folkestone Beach, I believe. And yeah, so we all got incredibly sunburnt because it was cold, but it was sunny. So by the end of the day, like my skin was peeling off. It was
So
horrible.
you were neither warm and you didn't have good skin afterwards either. You got no benefits.
Yeah, basically. But I mean, I had a nice day, and I think we came second in one of the races. So you know.
Oh, how many people were racing?
I think in the average race it's like 8 boats. I want to say I haven't done too many competitions.
Second out of 8 is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
If it's like out of 3 people, then second starts to look a lot less impressive.
You know, there were some races, like the singles, where there weren't very many people doing them, and it was literally like 2 people. So you're like guaranteed a medal.
Oh, because they give a medal to the second person. That's just like the kind of runner-up participation.
But the thing
middle
is,
school style medal.
if you come, I don't know if it's first or second. I don't really do many competitions because I don't like doing team sports because I don't like the feeling of potentially letting my team down. There you go. That's a bit of a fun fact about
A
me.
feeling you've presumably felt many times in team sports.
Ouch. Okay, actual insecurity there. That's
I don't
fine.
like team sports because I don't like being bogged down by a team that are absolutely shite.
All right. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Where I get bullied. Yeah. So if you start off as a novice, and then I believe, and then after you come first or second in a certain amount of races, you move up to a. I don't know what the next. I don't want to say adept. That's Skyrim.
I was thinking already.
You
like,
move up to the next tier.
This is kind of mage levels here.
I know what it is. You move up to a junior. So you go from a
junior.
novice to a junior. But the thing is
Is that a step up?
Yeah, if you can find races.
Junior seems quite kind of neutral. It doesn't really seem like it's that relevant to skill. Well, I mean, maybe a bit, but like...
What happens a lot is there aren't enough novice races. So even though I was a novice, I would be doing the junior races because like they wouldn't have enough people for the juniors, and then there wouldn't be enough novice people to have like a proper novice team.
Oh, so you merge.
Yeah.
What's above a junior?
I believe it's a senior, and then it's a veteran.
That makes sense. Senior does start to sound like old person, though.
Yeah.
If junior didn't already sound enough like young person, but I guess it's all pretty young people, right?
Well, yeah, the old people get like cordoned off into their like over 50s races.
Cordoned off.
I mean, they do. They have their own racing categories because they're not as young as they used to be.
I mean, that is true if they're old. I mean, it's true for everyone.
I'm not a young man anymore. But it's good. Yeah, it's good. And I got a medal, so that was good.
I can't remember how we got onto the boats.
NCS, busy, suntan, it was warm today.
That's how. It was warm today.
It's a beautiful day outside.
I mean, it's June.
It is June, nice.
June
nice
is
stuff.
one of the primary warm months. June, July, August. Those are the lads.
You're not wrong.
September, it's not so warm. By the end of September, it's like, ooh.
Ooh.
And then October's after September, right?
I don't know.
September, October, yeah.
Yeah. Did you include August?
Yeah, I did. August is the big warm.
Why am I wearing my headphones? This serves no purpose whatsoever.
Yeah, but you look like a proper gamer, so I didn't want to discourage
such an epic
it.
Gamer.
Oh, is it gonna? Oh, there you go.
There you go,
clinking
just
down of the headphones.
ASMR roleplay. Hey guys, let's take off our headsets.
What?
I don't know.
I don't know what the hell is going on.
But there was actually a reason we started talking about behind the voice actors. Because what I was going to say was, when I get back from NCS, I can do some volunteering work on there. So there you go, that's what I was trying to say.
That would be great fun. If you could just please send me all of the voice acting files.
No, you can listen. When people apply to the website, you can see other people's applications, like for whatever. Say for example, it's for the original video game where they want voice lines. Sometimes there's like an option they can check where you can hear other people's applications. And so I didn't apply at all, but I could still hear their applications. So I went through it, and I listened to the applications, and it was so bad. Like, obviously they're good microphones, and I'm not saying that I'm any better, which is why I'm kind of like nervous about this kind of thing, because I mean, like their voice skill. I'm not saying I'm any better than them at voice acting, because I'm not, because I have no experience. But that's the whole point of me building this up. But
you're criticising them,
but
you gotta go. They're amazing, man. Because if you're not very good, then you also have to say that.
Well,
not saying that you're not very good.
They're good at
myself into a
yeah,
hole.
nice job, Aaron. But they're better than I am, and they're good. But they're given very cringy lines, and so I imagine.
Oh yeah,
they're kind of
I imagine you're gonna have to do that.
I mean, the Lego Ninjago, I can do it with like an air of humour. But with the original
the
game,
kids don't want the humour, Sam. They want their Ninjagos to be taken with all solemnity.
No, Cole!
The video's not nearly as epic unless the narration's taking it seriously.
What if it's like this really like awful amateurish stop motion, but then the voice acting is like soulful?
Stop motion. I think
remorseless?
you'd be lucky to have a stop motion video, really, because it's difficult to do stop motion for more than 30 seconds without having it taken fucking years.
I say
so
stop
they
motion.
probably have to like just have it with like strings. And, like,
I mean
into
like middle school stop motion where you take a picture and then you just like move them.
Move it like a foot.
Yeah, it's like yeah, like a PowerPoint.
All over the place.
I'm not talking Wallace and Gromit. I'm talking like someone's PowerPoint presentation. But yeah, so that's how
probably is. That's how they do the video. They have a PowerPoint with loads of images, and they go click 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 click.
They have the audio file with all the narration like over the top, and then they just play that and then start tapping through the PowerPoint.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm excited for these videos. If you don't find,
oh no, I'm not gonna be.
If you don't
these.
find an actual Lego Ninjago one, then my god, I'm gonna be disappointed. I'm gonna have to start applying for that. I'm gonna have to buy a bunch of Ninjagos.
Maybe some of the content after I come back from MCS will be me linking stuff, like linking videos to the Ninjago videos.
That's gonna be embarrassing for you, anyone watching, and also the people that made the Ninjago videos. They're gonna go, where are all these views going from? This spike up from 10 views to 20
Are you
is
kidding me?
completely
If I was
unheard
12
of.
and I got like 20 views, I'd be pretty chuffed.
Man, you really did not have it mastered at 12, huh?
I got like 7 views for like my first 50 videos. I deleted most of my videos. I had so many videos.
Oh, I know. We would just play games and I'd find out afterwards that they were on YouTube, recordings of us playing them. I don't even know sometimes. Like, I'm pretty sure...
I don't know if I deleted them if they're privated. I had my Super Hot video had 700 and something views.
Oh yeah, because you explained the ending, which no one understood.
Because it was a very cryptic ending, and I understood it because I did a lot of research on it. I was just interested. But the thing was that the credits, they have copyrighted music playing, so the video got copyrighted, and I was like, well, I don't really want a copyrighted video on my YouTube, so I just deleted it. So there goes like 750 views, unfortunately.
And I don't know if I mentioned it last one. My video is at what, nearly 800,000 now.
Yes. Lixaman Games and Music uploading a Doctor Who video, which is neither games nor music.
A compilation of Doctor Who clips, and it got initially copyright strike the moment I put up, and I was like, oh shit. And then like months later, I started getting comments on it again and realised it must have been unstriked. Presumably, the actual Doctor Who channel found it and was like, oh, this isn't so bad, we'll unstrike this. Because they do that sort of thing, and they comment on like Doctor Who compilations and like, nice compilation, man. It's pretty weird, the people who run it. So yeah, and then I started racking up loads of views on it, and I get about 5 comments a day telling me what a prick I am for not having included the same fucking few scenes that I've been told I haven't been including for the past like 6 months.
Also, you renamed it because originally it was the Doctor being
angry/evil.
Angry/evil.
I renamed it to angry/dark because someone claims that just because the Doctor was doing evil actions doesn't mean that he was actually evil, because he was just having dark moments, and really it was kind of bullshit. But I just thought, you know what, I'm going to change it to shut this guy up. And it did. And also it exerted my power as a video uploader.
As a content creator.
Exactly.
You have solidated your power.
Someone commented back like, oh, it's really cool that you like listen to the fans of your videos. And it was like, oh yeah, man.
Oh,
clearly thinks that I'm a much bigger fish than I am.
I mean, you got 800k views.
I mean, yeah.
I just don't realise that your other videos have like 10.
Well, I know, because some people subscribe, but it's like, what are you subscribing for? Look at my videos, I've got absolutely no consistency.
Because they expect more quality Doctor Who compilation content.
I have 1,000 on one of the others, and like a couple, like 500 and a couple others.
Anyway, if you're watching this, it's because Harry's definitely going to link to this video on his YouTube channel.
It's in the description.
It's in the description, isn't it? Aren't you, Harry?
Oh yeah, no, this video will link to my one, and my one I will now put a link to this video.
You should do a whole video like, hey, I'm on a podcast.
Huh?
Do a video that's like, hey, I'm on a podcast.
But no one will listen to that.
I've got like traffic we can get.
400 subscribers, and then about 2% of them will click onto it, so that's possibly about 20 views, which to be fair
is a fair amount.
That's like an extra third.
Yeah, we're on 60 at the moment, so that's not bad.
60
is a fair amount. I was expecting to get like 7, like legitimately. I was expecting
like
to get
your own videos, but the thing is, a lot of those 60 are people we know that actually listen to it the whole way through.
Yeah,
which is pretty remarkable, really.
This is a good segue. I was actually going to talk about this. We've gotten feedback from the last video.
We have,
and by
that's crazy.
I mean, I've spoken to people. I've spoken to people, and I said, please bequeath me with your knowledge.
Are you fucking normal? What's happening?
I don't know. I started going into a voice, and I was like, sure, let's
roll with it. Yeah.
But I asked a couple people what they thought. And generally, the consensus was quite good. Although, I can't remember who it was. Someone said that they thought you were trying way too hard, despite the fact that this is just how you talk.
That's mean.
They said...
I always try way too hard. It's not just because I'm on a podcast. But there's some part of my mind that tries to make everything I say into a joke, no matter the quality. And it doesn't matter if I'm speaking to a microphone or not. I mean, we both know that this is basically how we talk normally.
There's no way to prove this, but obviously, so you're just going to have to take our word for this. But... Harry makes the same dumb, unfunny jokes off the podcast as he does on the podcast.
I mean, I'd have to get like court witnesses, but they would have no problems saying the amount of shit jokes I make 24/7. Who was that said that?
I don't remember.
Well, you're going to be conveniently remembering after we finish recording.
I genuinely don't.
So I can go around
name and shame them.
I can go around and give them a whack in the face. I'm not trying too hard, you prick. I don't know who this is. I should not be being so aggressive about it.
It's like you. No, I don't think it is. Oh man, it feels something like, I don't want to name any names. It feels like something. How do I say this? It seems like something that De Monte would say. I was gonna go with some kind of code word, but It seems like something she would say, or something like Eddie would say.
Oh.
Or maybe like...
Well, in
maybe
that case, I mean, that's not totally unexpected.
Although maybe like Christina could, but I don't want to badmouth Christina because she'll probably be coming on the podcast like soon.
She's on the list, isn't she? Along with some Romanian people.
Some Romanian people. Like, yeah, we do want people on the podcast. If you want to be on the podcast, don't tell me because chances are I don't want you on. But that's a joke. Do tell me. Do let me know, please. We need more people on so we can have more things to talk about.
Him.
No, nice job.
Him. Okay, we'll edit that.
Oh God.
Charlie.
I just bleep it out.
Charlie said to me that he asked you to come onto the podcast, and you said that. Oh, sorry, that's distracting. Fucking.
Nice job doxing him. I just put bleep Charlie on the Word document.
We'll just go slightly over an hour to make up for this. Charlie said to me that he asked to come on the podcast, and you said it would be difficult because he's so big he couldn't really fit in the room.
Yeah, it's true. No, Harry, look. Okay, so we've got 2 seats here, right? We've got we've got both seats, right? From the left of Harry's on my left, and I'm on Harry's right because that's just how it works. From the
Physics, everyone.
From the left of Harry's seat is one edge of the desk, and then the right of my seat is the other edge of the desk.
So we could shift. Also, if we had some kind of podium to put the microphone on, we could all sit around it in a kind of triangle.
That's an idea. If you have any ideas for how we could improve the microphone.
What's this ASMR shit you're doing?
Hey guys, welcome to my microphone setup tutorial video.
I reckon that's going to be really quiet. You didn't quite go close enough for the
I
ASMR.
didn't want to go. I mean, you can look at the sound waves.
Kind of rub your face on the microphone. That's what they do.
But
don't ask how I know that.
If you want to come on the podcast and you're small, let me know and we'll put you on the list because I have a mental list, and yeah, it'd be good. We can talk about things.
Crazy list.
You can prepare some subjects. You can make fun of Harry, and it'll all be in good fun. And then after the podcast, we'll berate you, and he'll cry a bit, and I'll be like, "No, don't worry, he didn't mean it. It's all right, Harry."
This is all really upsetting. I'm not looking forward to this. But I'll tell you when Charlie told me that. He told me that at prom.
A nice segue. He was looking at the list and I was like, he's going to go for prom. It's the easy subject.
I mean, it was really... I was just showing you what I was segueing onto as a result of that story, naturally.
I'm sorry.
Because we had a prom on Wednesday and we're recording this on Sunday.
And it will be uploaded on Sunday because otherwise it won't get a chance to be uploaded unless I upload it overnight.
Oh yeah, true. You're doing like NCS.
Yeah, because I'm leaving for NCS tomorrow, so we really left this to the last minute.
Yeah, but no, that was pretty weird. I had my college open day in the morning, which you didn't because you're going to a different college. Why is that a haha? They're equally valid options.
Look, we'll go back to colleges when that subject arises.
And then later in the day, we had our prom, which is the first time I've ever dressed up in a suit. And you too. And there's a picture of us as well.
There is a picture of us. I need to put that on the notes. Put up a chart. So, beep Charlie's last name. Put up picture. I can't just have to type this because there's a wire in the way. And
so
Harry, we're in suits.
Yeah. No, so like now there should be an image of us.
There should be an image, and you can see how spiffing we are.
And your one was fantastic. The white blazer and trousers, like crimson red shirt.
Yeah.
So Russian mafia.
If you're wondering who's who, I'm the one with the cream suit and the red shirt who is handsome and charming.
And I'm the one that's dressed normally and is handsome and charming.
You tell yourself that.
So the black blazer and the red tie I wore. And my family friend's husband gave me a lift on the back of his motorbike to prom.
Okay, that's pretty epic.
This is how I got there.
I'm actually not
bright yellow motorbike.
My mum drove me. I was behind a bunch of our friends. They got a big bus, but I didn't get the bus because it would have been more effort to get the bus, and then also I would have had to pay like £30 for it.
We got there a bit early, so he was like, "Oh, do you just want to go down the seafront for a bit on the bike and then come back?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So we went off, and as we went down the seafront, we saw the bus coming, and he was like, "Was that friends of yours?" And I was like, "Yeah, it is." And I like lifted my visor and looked up at them, and they were all like shouting my name.
That's cool.
We're going, "Oh, look, it's Harry."
I was in the car behind them.
Pretty weird. You were really, because
it
looked like it was just Alina and the guy in that car, not you.
Oh, odd. Along the
That
seafront.
was the car right behind them.
Sometime along the seafront, I picked up behind them, and then as we got closer to the venue, they
Sounds
were
like you're stalking him.
we're going to the same place, Harry. What do you expect? But I think, along the seafront, I was like a few cars behind them, and then as we got closer to the venue, I was like directly behind them. But it was awful because as they were letting people into this like small, well, it's a large venue, but the way in, there's only one like road.
There's
in.
a lot of people trying to get in.
And there's a lot of people trying to get in, and people trying to get out at the same time. So we were stuck behind this huge bus for like probably like 7 minutes just waiting.
When I got off the motorbike and finally struggled my fucking helmet off because they're difficult to get off. There's a guy there with a camera to take a photo, and he went, "Arm around your dad," and it was not my dad. It said like a family friend, and I just went, "He's not my dad," and he didn't hear. He went, "Arm around your dad," so I just put my arm around him and went, "Oh, thanks, Dad," and he went, "That's alright, son." So that was nice.
Oh god. But it was a good prom. I was in the prom committee.
You nerd. It was well set up. I mean, it kind of got a bit dull later on.
That is no fault of us. We did our best with Mr.
I mean, I have to imagine that's pretty difficult to prevent.
Mr. Head Teacher Man. We're not going to dox another person on the.
He's the only person that they could like publicly find out who he is.
Yeah, but Mr. Head Teacher Man. Not going to speak badly about authority on a podcast that I want to be like an example of me voice acting for potential future employers, but I think he cared more about his results from students than he actually cared about the students' well-being, and I did not personally agree with that.
It was an academy, and that's the sort of head teacher that gets brought in to manage a school like that in the UK. It's not a surprise probably to anyone listening. They kind of bring in teachers that it doesn't really matter about, not teachers, regular teachers, head teachers, and kind of administration.
Speak up.
They bring in fuck off. They bring in administration that can get quick results, and they don't really worry so much about the long-term results. As it is for a lot of these type of things, it's more about looking good and having good statistics than it is about creating actual good results. But then, the alternative is like not having accountability. So it's the sort of thing that ends up happening a lot in these systems because people pressure it to get better, and then it ends up getting worse as a result.
Yeah, it's I think.
But there was a lot of good teachers, obviously.
Yeah, there were a lot of good teachers. My drama teacher in particular, I think she was the one.
I mean, most of our regular teachers I thought were really nice.
Specifically, I got gifts for my favorite teachers. I say gifts. I got cards. I only got gifts for one of them. My media teacher.
You stole those cards from our biology teacher.
I stole one of the cards because I forgot to give our English teacher a card. But.
And you felt too bad for being like, you're not going to get a card.
No, I didn't. When I said it,
straight up winded her up about it.
At the time, I didn't mean it like that, but whatever. Anyway,
you didn't mean it literally, even though you hadn't got her a card, and therefore it was true as you were saying.
Well, she seemed like really hopeful, like, "Oh, you those cards," and I didn't want to like get her hopes up that she was getting a card, so I was
you just bullied her and
no, I just said, "Well, yeah, but you're not really getting a card. These are more for," and then I actually said the teachers, and then afterwards I was like, "Oh God."
Sorry, you were not trying to be brutal. I thought...
I didn't know what to say. I was panicking.
I thought you were deliberately taking the piss out of her.
No,
I can't believe you were trying to be nice.
You do realise that English is literally my strongest subject.
English is, probably that's what she said at our parents' evening we had in like year 11 or something. She was like, "Oh, this is English, Harry's strongest subject," and I was like, "How does she doesn't know my other subjects," but
she does.
It is possibly my strongest subject, mainly because I'm not a bad bullshitter, and that's what English is really.
If you can make a link between anything and anything, then you get the marks.
I like that. Your link doesn't need to be right because you can make it work either way. So if you link two things and it makes sense, you say, "Well, look at that, it makes sense. Clearly they're trying to display this theme." If you link two themes and there's absolutely no correlation between them at all, you say the author's deliberately put in a contrast. And it's like with the title. You can analyse the title before you've even read the poem and say, "Well, this is clearly what the author's preparing us for." Even if the title really gives you no information, it could just be called like book or something. You can still analyse it, and then if once you get to the poem, it's nothing like what you said, you can just say the author has deliberately misled me. So really you can make an effect out of anything. And I mean, I don't know what A-level English is like.
Oh, I do, because are we going to segue to college? Are we not going? We can go back to prom if we really desperately want to talk about like anything that happened. But at college, I'm taking English, Literature and Language A-level combined.
Boy, are you? That's crazy.
I know, it is crazy.
Who thought I'm going to continue on doing those subjects?
They're my strongest subjects, and I want to. If voice acting doesn't work out, writing stuff would be fun. Or I could do both.
It's always good to fall back on a safe plan, like being an author.
Please hire me.
My backup is being an astronaut.
Okay, it's not. Well, even so, I can still. I still enjoy writing. I can still write in my spare time.
It's a good kind of qualification to have, isn't it?
Yeah. Anyway,
it's always good to be able to speak English.
Bonjour. Pourquoi? I don't know any
can't
French
speak
words. I can't speak enough French to make this joke.
Ich spreche ein bisschen Deutsch.
Okay, tschüss, tschüssi.
Aber ich spreche nicht Französisch.
I don't care. So, what did you actually say?
I speak a little German, but I don't speak French.
Nice. So, going back to the actual topic before we started speaking languages that we don't speak. English, literature and language combined. It's interesting. It's about...
I doubt that.
It's really... Okay, I think it's interesting because I have an interest in English. But it seems that the English language part is... It's quite similar to what we've been doing. It's about the kind of like authors' tones and perspectives, or like viewpoints and perspectives.
Yeah.
But also it's a lot about the author's voice and what you can interpret from like how they speak. So, say for example, the author speaks in like minor sentences where, let's just say they speak in very short sentences that are quite simple. Then you can infer that maybe they're not very...
Maybe they're a bit dim.
I was going to say not very well educated, or perhaps that they're being quite colloquial and they don't think that the subject is worth getting all technical about. And it is quite interesting, and also it's quite useful for me because if I want to do voice acting, it's good to be able to study voices and understand the kind of motivations of different characters and how different tones can portray different emotions.
Yeah. Well, no, they're very linked in. That does make sense. How LinkedIn? You know, the website. LinkedIn. My God, that is absolutely crazy.
Whoa. I should probably sign up to LinkedIn.
Your college open day, that was like the day before prom, right?
It was the day before prom.
Mine was the day
of prom.
Yeah. I had the college open day, and then I went and got my hair cut short. And in the photo, my hair is short. But obviously, I've had my hair quite long for quite long periods of my life. And then it was prom after I had my hair cut. But then the next day, there was a kind of party, wasn't there? Which is kind of bringing a new meaning to the word after party, as in the day after.
Well, I mean, at first, when I heard it was the day after, I was quite surprised. I was like, really?
I said that to my sister.
The day after?
I was like, the after party is the day after, and she was like, what?
Well, I never considered it an after party because there was always going to be a party, prom or not. So I
guess it was more like an end of school party.
It was an end of school party, including an emotional video with very cringy music.
I think really what happened is it was supposed to be an after party after prom, and then it kind of ballooned into something so large that they thought it deserved its own day.
I guess.
I think that's what happened.
I mean, prom ended at midnight. I mean, it ended at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then most people would have gotten back to where they lived by midnight because it was quite far away.
There was an after party after prom, wasn't there?
Yeah, but it was with a bunch of people we didn't know.
Yeah.
More or less.
I was kind of tired and bored, and I was like, I'm going home.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking about it, and then it hit like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, I'm just going to go to sleep.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would not have enjoyed it particularly, I think. But, and then of course my girlfriend went, and...
Oh, sorry, Harry. Harry's flexing.
And, yeah, no, she got, like, a bit crazy. I perhaps should have been there to...
Go crazy.
I perhaps should have been there to control that situation.
Harry's a controlling partner.
That's not what I meant.
Oh, no.
I mean, to kind of stop anyone from getting injured. But no, the party the day after...
Harry didn't attend.
I didn't attend, and the reason for that is the next day I was with my girlfriend.
He's flexing again.
I'm not... This is literally crucial to the story.
Sorry, go ahead.
She didn't feel well, so we just stayed rather than going to the party, which is I actually had planned to go, Both of us had. But you went.
I went, so
How many people were there?
I'll be
Because
the narration.
I knew it was going to be a big event.
As much as it is annoying that certain people were missing, like certain people that I would consider to be quite important, like Darius or Archie, 2 people that
Quite
I want to
important,
name.
like kind of state figures.
Yeah, like people who I'm good friends with, and who knows, maybe we'll have on the podcast.
And therefore it's okay to dox them.
Well, we're not saying their last names like you did with Charlie, are we? But they weren't there, which was unfortunate. Hey, I'm thinking. They weren't there, which was unfortunate, but there was just the right amount of people. I think if there were more people, it would have been too busy. With the amount of people that there were,
a lot of people were invited, but it had to be cut down a bit because, like, there was potentially too many people.
Yeah, I think definitely if there were many more people there, if there were like 3 more people, it would have been overcrowded.
God, breaking point.
There are a lot of people, and it was helped by the fact that there were like 8 people just sitting on like one bench, like crammed together for no reason. There was like a bench. You know how he has the bench in like the corner of the garden, the one with like the over. There's a bench in the corner of the garden. And
it's like the cage around it.
Yeah, and it's got a kind of a wooden shelter above it.
Yeah.
And there were so many people on that bench. There were so many people.
Maybe that was the weed bench.
So no, I don't think it was because
that was
the person involved went to the park for that.
Yeah, no, I think we can all guess who that was. But no, it was weird because it was so talked about. But I didn't end up going, so it's kind of strange to hear about it. I mean, it was Hawaiian themed, wasn't it?
It was.
And I saw pictures, and there was a lot of Hawaiian stuff going on.
I was actually
or at least kind of general cultural stuff, kind of stereotypically associated.
some kind of. But I was actually quite surprised by how decorated it was, and also the amount of Hawaiian decoration that they'd really
People were
gone
told
for
to wear Hawaiian shirts.
I did not, because I was not going to spend money on a Hawaiian shirt that I would never
wear. You didn't already own a Hawaiian shirt?
No,
That's
wow.
absolutely crazy.
Sorry,
you should have just asked me to borrow mine, which I would steal off my brother. I mean, I'm guessing that girls didn't generally wear Hawaiian shirts. They did. Oh my, that's.
Well, some of them wore dresses
much
and then they wore Hawaiian shirts
expectations.
Some of them wore dresses and then wore Hawaiian shirts over their dresses.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. But yeah, I was quite impressed, and I didn't wear a Hawaiian shirt. So
you got kicked out.
I got kicked in the face, but luckily
generally bullied.
Someone brought a lot of people brought the little like flower wreaths.
Oh yeah, the hulas or something.
I don't know. I'm not going to try and pronounce something that
flower wreaths is a perfect description.
They're little like flower necklaces that you wear.
Yeah.
And yeah, they.
There was also like hats, wasn't there? They looked kind of weirdly sombrero.
There was only one sombrero. But that's not Hawaiian.
It's not Hawaiian at all.
Yeah, it's not Hawaiian at all. But hey, someone brought it, so I guess it counts.
It's kind of tropical, at least.
It's very tropical, I would suppose. It's also kind of reminiscent of like
it's Mexico,
a farmer's hat, you know?
Yeah, no, I saw it was kind of weirdly strawberry, more so than a sombrero.
But I think around 8 o'clock. It started at 5:30. I got
started at 5:30. That's early.
It is early, but also meant that like. It was a lot more stretched out, so there weren't people like going absolutely mental. You know what I mean? Like it was good that it started off kind of early because I would have thought if you start that early, then by 10 a.m. people were out of their mind. No, because
10 a.m.
because it started early.
10 p.m.
People, people were taking it slowly. It was more of a battle of attrition rather than a sprint. So people were...
I find that hard to believe about some people.
I know, me too, but you know.
I guess so, yeah.
The witness doesn't lie unless I am lying, because I'm not.
A lot of people we know go mental with drinking, and it's just a funny result.
Yeah, like, I don't drink.
You don't, of course. I've turned up to some parties and people have just already been out of their minds, and I'm like, oh, okay, what's going on here? And it's like 8:30.
But yeah, it started at 5:30. Around 8-ish, I want to say, there was like this montage video of basically our friend group all through high school. And I'm saying our friend group all through high school is a paradoxical statement, but let's not get into that.
How long was the video?
Oh, it was long. It felt longer than Endgame, but it must have only been like 4 minutes. It was 4 minutes, which doesn't seem like a lot until you realise it's just still images and like a montage. with very cringy music in the background.
But that's the kind of tradition for a montage, isn't it?
It's like
leaving high school.
It was more cringy. No, but it was more cringy than the kind of music you get in like leaving assemblies.
How?
I think it is. I don't know. It took itself way too seriously. But
you're really insulting this party, aren't you?
No, I'm just insulting
harsh on it.
The awful video.
You brutal bastard.
I mean, obviously,
so much effort went into that.
With this kind of thing, it's not about whether or not it's actually good. It's about the emotional response it elicits. And I guess when it comes down to it, people were like tearing up because they were like, "Oh, I remember."
Because they drank a lot.
No, yeah, maybe, but like Olivia, I think she was getting fairly like emotional. I don't know if she was tearing up.
She's an emotionally volatile woman, isn't she?
Jesus Christ, Harry.
If she was a man, she would have restrained herself.
Oh, okay, Harry. Harry, remember in middle school when you didn't remember what the numbers were? Oh no, you didn't remember the verbs in French, so you started crying.
That is not an accurate rendition of that story, but let's go, lads, with the accurate version.
No, go on then.
What happened is you had to remember the Spanish verbs.
Was it Spanish?
Yes, it was Spanish.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Get it fucking right. And you had to remember the order of them. Well, no, you didn't have to remember the order, you had to remember the English. So what I did is I created 2 songs in my head, a Spanish one and an English one. No, I had done no revision, so this was like 10 minutes before I came up with this. This is why I had to come up with the song system. And then once I got in there, I was kind of singing the Spanish song and the English song in my head, matching up the English with the Spanish. Boom, I did it all. And I got none of it right, and the reason I hadn't was because even though I had remembered the 2 songs perfectly, I got it 1 word out of sync, therefore making every translation 1 word off in the song, and it was all wrong. Yeah, well, and I think it was somewhat important. And I could not stop laughing.
I don't think it was. I think she just really hyped it. Our teacher just really hyped it up.
Well, they do, don't they?
You're gonna do well on this.
I couldn't stop laughing, but also kind of crying, and it was this really weird halfway ground I've never been able to inhabit since. And she said, "Are you laughing or crying?" And I said, through my kind of chuckling tears, "I don't know."
Oh, I love that one. Oh, that is a classic.
That is, I mean, the other classic. Year 7 story is the Doritos one. You know the Doritos
Oh yeah, was that on the train?
On the train, yeah. We told this, me and Aaron, we told this story to Miss Scott, and we absolutely died laughing telling it. We couldn't get all the way through the story because we were just dying so much. Basically, we went on a trip to Chichester. Side note...
Chichester, you mean?
Sorry?
Chichester? It's Chichester.
We went on a trip to Chai on the train as a school. Side note, on the way there, I sat down and my stepmom was in the carriage with me, because that was a weird coincidence. But anyway, on the way back, it was obviously about the time school was ending, so there was a bunch of other like high school kids, and this was year 7, we were in middle school at the time. The school system's obviously different in most of the country now. Year 7's high school now.
No, yeah, I don't like that.
I don't like that either, but it was middle school at the time. And so we were on the train with all these high school kids, and I was sitting in this like carriage of 4 people, and on the table when the carriage was sat down, there was this old Doritos packet that looked really manky. The inside is full of kind of like moist dust.
Oh, you know, like wet Doritos where they're like...
Yeah, no, it was like congealed is the accurately disgusting word for it. And then this high school kid was like sticking his hand between our seats and like waving it about so that it was like in between me and the person next to me, and he wouldn't stop doing it. So I just picked up the Doritos packet and I shoved it onto his hand. With the best bit of course is that he had nowhere to see it coming, and his hand was just, you could see the shock and horror. He just went like, "Oh god," and ripped through. And he did not stick his hand back through the seats again. The best bit of the story is I knew exactly what his face would have looked like despite having seen it. And yeah, I mean, that was the best thing I've ever done.
You're a menace to society.
He was a menace to society, sticking that fucking hand.
How dare he?
Thinking he can bully middle school kids. And I like as well, afterwards, they were like, "Oh, I'm really proud of everyone for being so well behaved with all those rockative high school kids there." And it's like, yeah.
Vigilante justice, Harry Miles.
I didn't rise to it at all. I really kept a level head. I'm looking at this list now of things we can talk about.
And we're down to our favourite events of the Cold War and aliens. Oh no, and don't forget top tier biscuits.
Top tier biscuits?
Top tier biscuits, chocolate digestives.
I mean, that was the ones we were eating earlier, obviously, and they are top tier.
We have like 4 left. That's not
More than
important.
4, I reckon. We got like bourbons, they're great. Custard creams, they're pretty great.
Trying with just good biscuits.
What are low tier biscuits is perhaps the important distinction.
The ones you get in cracker boxes, where technically, you know how you get biscuits.
I mean, they're the best in a cracker box. Sometimes they're right.
Yeah, but you get like sweet crackers that are technically like biscuits when you think about it, and they're just not good.
Well, yeah, but they're what I used to eat when I was younger and didn't want to eat fucking crackers.
What are we counting as biscuits? Are we counting like Belvita?
Oh, I like Belvita, but they're a different ball game.
They like dry out your mouth awfully, and like you just
know.
get like clumps of them like in your
But
mouth.
But part of me embraces the dryness, and I end up loving it. I mean, like ginger nuts, I used to like when I was younger, but now I think they're kind of low tier. And if you try dipping them in tea, it's just not going to work.
Yeah.
Oh, then you don't drink tea though.
Get
Really,
Harry
do
started
you?
on the goddamn tea.
I mean, I can't believe you don't
ginger
drink
nut
tea.
is definitely a weak link in the biscuit hierarchy.
Yeah,
When you think about it.
I would say that. You also get like those like fig things.
Fig.
Yeah.
I like fig. I don't know if I'd like fig on a biscuit.
I don't know if it's technically fig, but they're called fig biscuits things. I don't really like them. Perhaps just because the name sounds so potentially off-putting. I mean, our favourite events of the Cold War, we kind of covered last time.
We did cover that last time. Although
We talked about the Cuban Missile Crisis a little bit, right?
Did we?
That is a classic, to be fair.
I think
the Cuban Missile Crisis.
every week, if we just mention a different event of the Cold War that we enjoy. I quite enjoyed the long telegram, which is one of the things that started the Cold War. Basically, there were 2 telegrams. One from like a US ambassador talking to the US about Russia, or the USSR at the time, and then one from
Like
a USSR
USSR.
ambassador talking about the USA to the USSR. And the Russian guy is like, these Americans are evil, they want to take over the world, we shouldn't trust them. And the American guy is like, these Russians are evil, they want to take over the world, we shouldn't trust them. And so then neither of them trust each other, and they're both, and like...
What time period was this?
This was... Oh god!
Was this just before the Cuban Missile?
No. This is like what sparked the First World War. I mean the
First World
You know
War?
what I mean? The Cold War.
Fuck me, I had this the wrong way around.
the Cold War.
Oh yeah.
It was like I don't know if it was what sparked it, but it definitely didn't help. There were obviously a few different factors. But
Well, sparking the
didn't
Cold
help.
War is a weird thing saying it because it kind of gradually happened.
But this was...
It's basically like World War II's over. We can stop pretending to like each other now.
Yeah, I think it was 1946 or 7 was that when that
Well, I
was.
guess yeah. So it defeated the Nazis. Let's send an ambassador over to see what was going on there and see if we need to have a period of tension for the next 50 years.
Anyway, enough about the Cold War. Join us next time for our next favourite events of the Cold War.
Oh yeah, it's one every week, folks.
We have to have a hook for the viewers.
I mean, if that's not bringing them in, I don't know what we'll do. The other thing is aliens.
Aliens, Harry. This is every week. Every episode, me and Harry are gonna swap between who has like the primary subject. So my subject last time was
music and video
games.
Big nerd, and he was like, "Do you want to talk about something?" And I was like, "Well, let's speak about aliens," because I said, "Oh, we could talk about the likelihoods of alien life," and you said that we probably both agree that alien life is likely. But
well, it's inevitable.
Somewhere in the universe.
Yeah, somewhere in the universe.
Because the chances that we're the only kind of intelligent life is
quite narrow-minded.
I think as Bill Nye described it, perhaps another scientist. He's not a scientist, but someone.
He's a scientist.
No, he's like an engineer who does science programs.
Does he not? No, he's a scientist.
I don't think he's got a science degree. That's the weird thing.
What?
I know, right?
What?
He just knows a lot about it because he's had to speak about it so much.
What?
And he's done like similar things.
I
like
guess that's why they don't call
geography
him,
and stuff like that.
I guess that's why they don't call him Dr. Bill Nye. They just call him Bill Nye.
Exactly. Otherwise, he'd be constantly showing off the fact that he's a doctor.
I've got a PhD.
Exactly. That's what I'd do. I'd enter the room and say, "I've got a PhD." If I was a doctor. But no, yeah. Someone said that like, oh, if we were the only intelligent life in the universe, that makes us a miracle. And something you learn when you study science is miracles don't happen. But then. Also, I mentioned before this recording that the kind of thing to contradict that is the Fermi paradox, which came up with by a scientist, I think a scientist, called Fermi, who realised that how old the universe is, and by which point planets that aliens could live on should have been created, that they should have really colonized the whole galaxy by now, in our galaxy. So basically, if it is possible to travel through space and aliens do exist, then they should be here by now, but they're not, which is a kind of paradox. There's a kind of few solutions, but the solutions basically all centre around either there's no alien life actually out there and it is just us, or alien life never gets to the point of being able to travel to other planets.
And that's the Great Filter or whatever. That's a different theory of the Great Filter.
What's that?
It's the idea that there's some kind of filter that prevents people, like civilizations, from passing a certain point. So, for example, so this filter is like a great big extinction event that completely wipes out planets. That's the idea. And that's why if we found ancient alien civilizations, like ruins of them, it would be horrible, and it would mean that we're like destined to die. Because let's say, okay, so let me explain this. So the idea of the Great Filter is there is some big cosmic event that generally happens to all like intelligent civilizations or life that prevents them from progressing to a point where they can make space travel, and they would have contacted us by now. And the idea is, if this filter is early on, so say we find let's say we find dead bacteria somehow on another planet, that's good, because that means potentially we've already passed the filter, right? If we find a fossil on another planet of really early alien organisms, that's also good, because it means we've already passed that point. However, if we find an alien civilization that is more complex than our own, and it's completely in ruins, and everything is destroyed, that means we haven't reached the filter yet.
Well,
and obviously
we should be able to see a filter coming,
like climate change.
Well, that's the kind of big possible thing, isn't it? Maybe it really is just the point of that all civilizations are too stupid not to self-destruct. They all end up completely polluting their own world, and then it's eventually spiraling and destroying. I mean, I'm optimistic enough to think that, once people in developed countries start having serious deaths from climate change, people are actually going to have to think about changing, Whilst people are dying in low economically developed countries, who cares, but it will, have to change at some point. It's like there's a Parquet Court song that says, "Oh, is it someone else's job until the rich are refugees?" And it's, we'll get there eventually.
It's just it's just like big companies don't care. It's like, oh, who cares? The people in far off lands aren't buying our products.
I mean, it's really kind of narrow-minded as well, because people in rich companies still live on the same planet as us. So really, it's affecting them too.
A lot of them are old, so they hear they hear facts like, "Oh, we'll run out of oil in 40 years," and they're like, "40 years? I'm not gonna be alive then."
It's
not my problem.
As well, if anyone's got any oil left, it's going to be them.
Oh yeah, also
the oil companies.
Big oil.
That's obviously the potential one, the civilization ender that we can see coming. But then I don't think, we should be too scared of it, because it's not like it's going to be something that crazy and unexpected, right?
I mean, that's the whole point. We don't know. It's this big cosmic event.
I saw a suggestion that it could just be that it's impossible to kind of have good space travel, or kind of travel fast and light and stuff like that. But then also, considering how long our galaxy has been around, even if ships travelled at a really comparatively sluggish speed, they still should have got here by now. People dying and creating new kind of alien life and colonising other places. So that's not such an argument, unless it really is just that space travel between solar systems is impossible, which is possible,
There was
But then again, we haven't got any radio signals, have we?
We haven't. I mean, there's been a few stray ones, like the WoW signal.
Yeah, but that was just a kind of
that was probably
astronomical natural event.
Yeah, and the thing is, that's the thing. I think
the thing is, that's the thing. Thank you for listening.
If alien life is got to exist, right? Or at least it must have existed at some point. I think maybe it's super rare and they're just all dead.
We can both agree that there's pretty much 100% chance that bacteria or something exists.
Yeah, somewhere.
Because we've practically found that on Mars,
Neptune and Mars, stuff, which is really close by.
Exactly. So the chances that in the whole universe it doesn't exist is so mind-blowingly small we can't even think of it.
But the chances of them being nearby, on the other hand, isn't as high. Isn't anywhere near as high, in fact.
No, well, it's about, obviously the middle ground between our solar system and our and the universe is our galaxy, and that's the kind of reasonable place where there should be some other civilizations, and they should be able to contact us if they were really advanced.
There's this short story I read. I was going to call it like a horror story, but it's not. It's kind of just like a thought-provoking thing, and I'm not going to do it any justice in describing it, but it's
good.
It's about this person who they work for. Let's just say like a company, and this company's discovered faster than light travel, right? Or faster than light travel, like extremely fast travel, like faster than we would even like be able to perceive.
We're just gonna have to like suspend our disbelief.
Yeah, just suspend your disbelief.
All of the laws of physics that are being broken right
Precisely.
now.
And this person, and it's the story's kind of about like loneliness and how
good.
we're like how
sounds like my kind of story.
It would suit you well, and like how perhaps people would feel if we were alone. And so this person goes up in this ship, this like magic ferry ship. It's not actually a magic ferry ship, but it acts like one.
Really fucking fast.
It's very fast. It's like they put a jet engine on the back of the jet engine.
I'm looking at the game Faster Than Light on your computer right now.
But and they go out, and because they're traveling at such fast speeds, even though for us they've only been gone for like a year, for them it's been like thousands.
Oh,
it's felt like thousands of years. Yeah, kind of like Interstellar. And so in their heads, they've spent like millions of years alone, and they keep searching for like planets, and they can't find any life. And there's like this one planet where everyone thought it was basically guaranteed there'd be life, and they get there and it's just desolate, and like it's just about them kind of like being really lonely and just like freaking out.
I mean, you hadn't seen anyone in millions of years, then you would
freak out.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine that I wouldn't last that long to keep searching planets, but I guess if you had nothing else to do, and that was the way to potentially solve your loneliness crisis, to put it simply.
There are people who go into like solitary confinement for like a month, and then they're like forever changed.
I mean, yeah, I know, I've seen that, but not in real life personally, or to me.
Warden Harry.
But even though across the universe, obviously time is a weird thing, and something happening.
You can tell Harry watches Doctor Who.
I'm a big Whovian. Something happening here and something happening across the other side of the universe. There's no way to view those two things as happening at the same time, because there's no causal link between the two, and time is weird. But putting that aside, isn't it weird to think that it's kind of statistically very likely that there's an alien civilization kind of going about their business at the moment, like somewhere else in the universe, with all their own weird alien houses and transport and like intelligent
head
community
teachers that they don't like.
That's a fucking weird thought, isn't it?
That is strange. That is actually very strange. What do you think they look like? Do you think they look like something we could comprehend?
I'm imagining things out of like movies. Like I'm imagining that.
Little Green Men?
Not quite. I've forgotten what it's called. There was like a cartoon alien movie for kids ages ago. It's called like 6 or something maybe. Or
Big Hero 6.
No, definitely not. In fact, I think I've got the name completely wrong. But I'm imagining that thing. It's quite like a cute cartoon alien creature, basically. That's the accurate portrayal I'm seeing in my head.
They would have to be a biped. They'd have to walk on 2 legs.
Why?
Because the whole point of humans developing to walk properly on 2 legs was so that the brain could develop. Because if you walk hunched over and standing up, I'm trying to demonstrate how.
He's walking hunched over.
If you walk hunched over and your brain gets really big, then
you fall over.
Yeah, I feel like you'd have problems with your spine more than just falling over. But it's not good for you, and so humans develop standing up straight.
It's potentially they could have another way of doing that. Like I saw another thing talking about the classic little green alien and saying that really they look amazingly human, because what humans actually have is modified fish faces, because we're kind of evolved from fish, and obviously a lot of our features are now redundant, and the only reason that we have them is because of our evolutionary history. So an alien would really have no reason to look at all like us. We'd probably find them really freaky, and it's impossible to kind of imagine what they would look like. But at the same
time, they probably would have started life, because if water's necessary for life, right, they probably would have started off as an aquatic species.
That's true, but then again, I reckon we'd find it extra freaky because every weird animal we're used to looking at, and don't get me wrong, animals on Earth do get friggin' weird, don't they? Some stuff I'm like, how does that exist? I mean, isn't it weird that we take giraffes? We take giraffes for granted. What the hell?
And yet we don't have unicorns.
If they didn't exist and someone had drawn that on a piece of paper, you'd go, "That's ridiculous. That's never going to be."
I think your neck's about a proportion.
Exactly. But really, every animal that we've seen is still kind of evolved from the same couple branches. So we're seeing everything within a kind of very narrow spectrum of evolution.
I think the issue is,
and it is an issue.
I think the issue is, would be like uncanny valley. You know, where something's like,
no, that's what I'm
kind
thinking.
of. I don't think they'd move like us. I think if they're used to different gravities and they're used to different environments, I think they'd move in very different ways, either a lot smoother or a lot more jagged. And
Just
either way, it's going to be off-putting and unsettling.
Either way, it's going to end up with real kind of cross-species tensions.
Yeah.
Of all the kind of just like hillbillies being like, look at these freaky aliens, let's shoot them.
There are people on Earth that hate other people on Earth for how they look.
I know.
Imagine
we
how...
all look the same. We're not only from the same evolutionary tree, we are literally the same species.
Yeah.
And we're still arguing about it.
Like, imagine how Southern America's going to react to aliens, like, being like, hi!
We're really taking it out on southern USA, aren't we?
Who do you think voted for Trump?
I mean, I thought you said you didn't want to get political.
I don't want to get political, but everyone hates it.
We're coming up to about an hour.
An hour and 1 minute, but you know what, I think I'll just bleep out Charlie's last name. Charlie's going to watch this and he's going to be like, wow, it's like I'm on the podcast, they're mentioning me so much.
That whole bit was a bit of a fuck up. A lot of me stuttering around his name. Maybe needs a bit of sniffing.
No, I'll put loads of bleeps and then people won't
It's going to sound like we're swearing. Like,
no, because I won't bleep any of that.
Whenever I want to swear, I should just like say someone's address. You have to beep it out.
But I'll just put loads of bleeps and no one will quite understand what you said until this bit right at the end.
It will be a mystery, like space.
Or I'll just mute
Odyssey.
it. I'll probably just mute it. It's way easier to mute it than to bleep over it.
Oh no, come on, bleeping's much funner.
Yeah, but oh God, we're on a limited time schedule, Harry. This is being recorded on the 30th of June at 3 past 11. Well, it's going to be released today. It's being released at...
It describes recent events.
Well, it's being recorded at 11 past 3. So...
That's the time it is now.
That's the time right now. So, I mean, you can have a look for yourself
We're
at the time actually gets
4 minutes.
Oh, wow, so we're on the summer holidays, Harry.
And we're never going to be in school again.
I mean, college is basically just extended school.
Yeah, but much better, I hear, on the grapevine.
It is good.
On the wine vine.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be nice. It's going to be nice to be treated like a human being.
Yeah, I know. That's going to be crazy.
Wow. Anyway.
We should wind up.
I think we should wind down.
That was such a crazy bit of banter there, man.
I'm going to move the mouse to the stop button. Are you ready?
I'm not ready. This is going to be... Don't press it yet. Whoa.
I thought you were hanging the balloon by your necklace. That was like some dark, edgy shush. Sam, get some oxygen and pass out.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer. Nice and here we are. My leg in my fingers.
I still feel
the soldiers I've lost. It's like they're still there. You feel it too, don't you?